Hello and welcome to another special bonus talk edition of Sports Talk Philadelphia here on the South TV. I'm your host Josh Abrams alongside John Freeman, Jake Kopsick, and Tyler Small. We are here to talk about the 76ers, and they've been on a nice little roll recently. A little obstacle, really bad loss in Brooklyn, but nevertheless, we were able to pick up some home wins against the Clippers and the Pistons. Then the loss to Brooklyn happened on Sunday. And then just yesterday, we picked up our first road win of the season. That has me pretty excited. I don't know about you guys, but we finally won a game on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it took them a while, but they finally got it. They're sitting at 7-5 right now. Embiid is still and Simmons are still carrying the team. I mean, Embiid's averaging almost 28 points a game, I believe, which is good for second in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, they would be a different team without Embiid and Simmons, but it's good to see that they're playing well. They're playing up to where we know they can be, and it's really helping them out.
I would even go further than that then. They would definitely be way different without Simmons, but if they didn't have Embiid, they would not be anywhere where they are right now. He's been the dominating force offensively and defensively. I thought it was pretty great to see the Andre Drummond thing. Gave him 0 points for the whole first half. He really does have real estate up in that head, but I thought that was a great performance all season for Embiid.
Right, and Embiid's he's just showcasing, why he should be an MVP candidate. And he consistently performs, These double-doubles are what we need. We really need these double-doubles, and he's continuing to give it to us. And also, back to what Tyler said, with Andre Drummond, the situation that occurred, that was kind of the shot in the arm we needed, to get this team going and get this team on a roll.
Yeah, and I think definitely the way he acts off the court would be frowned upon in most cases, but this is our future. This is the guy who makes this team what it is, and just the way that he backs it up on the court too makes it even more of an awesome thing to look at. Let's look at the win versus the Pacers, guys. We finally pulled it off on the road. It started off. It was pretty much all Sixers from start to finish. The Pacers obviously came to life a little bit thanks to Victor Oladipo, as you see there. He scored more than a third of their points with 36. But he also took around 30 shots to get it, and the rest of the team, with the exception of Domantas Sabonis, really just struggled, and I think that was a big reason why the Sixers won.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I look at, like not only the defense, keeping them under 100 points, besides, like you said, Sabonis and Oladipo, there was not really anybody that was a factor, but J.J. Redick off the bench had 10 points, and he was 0-7 from 3, and they were still able to win. Landry Shamet, he had 3 threes. He had 12 points. He's averaging 12 points in his last 4 games. So I like what Shamet's
I really like Shamet. I really do. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about with the Flyers before about contributions from unlikely players. And not that Landry Shamet is unlikely, but we have players on the squad that are new to the team that are starting to look more like that.
And Shamet really picked up off the bench what Saric or Ilyasova or these big guys that usually are our scorers haven't been able to do off the bench. And in a team where pretty much our only outside shooter is J.J. Redick, we need somebody else that can spread the floor with Embiid and Simmons out there and get some points from the outside and just have a scorer at all off the bench.
Right, and this overall effort from the team, contributions from unexpected areas, it's really helping us get on the roll. It's really helping us, move forward and have the season we're looking for, the season we expect, because we're going to need those contributions when we're playing teams like the Celtics, a great young running squad, a great young team. We're going to need contributions when we're playing teams like those.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, and we didn't get those. We can't just sit here and praise them like they are the Raptors or the Celtics, and even the Celtics aren't that polished right now. No. The Sixers looked absolutely horrible against the Nets. That was probably that had to have been the worst game statistically all season. We didn't reach 100 points. This young undeveloped Nets squad put up 122 points on a Sixers team that's already pretty much developed. And the one thing I think we all are looking at is the near 30 turnovers. And now I know we polished that up a little bit against Indiana, and we just can't do that. I said in the Boston game when we were all a little fired up about that we can't turn the ball over like that. I mean, it just can't happen.
And that just made it look terrible. This is a team that's fighting to be one of the tops in the East against a team that's pretty much going to have a season for draft picks. Like, this is just way too one-sided to see something like that. They handed them the win. And if you want to keep up with the Celtics, not so much, but the Bucks even, along with the Raptors, they need to win the easy games like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we should give a little more credit to this Nets team. They have some players, D'Angelo Russell, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson to 20 points on them. So they have some players, but that's a team they should win. That's a team that they should beat, that's a team that's pretty much in the cellar of the Eastern Conference. And when you play teams like that, you got to get it done.
Right, this is a team we should definitely look to beat and beat by a lot, you know? I mean, yeah, they have some young players with Russell, but I mean, that's a team we should look to beat and beat by a lot, you know? We're still competing with teams like the Raptors, you know, teams like the Celtics, and those are really talented teams that will, you know, expose us if we're not ready.
Yeah, and the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard look just like they're amazing right now.
They don't even need them.
Even without Kawhi, they're looking good.
Yeah, I mean they're that good of a defensive team. We saw Serge Ibaka the other day put up his career high in scoring. So you know we're seeing a Raptors team with a lot of old veteran guys that are not just there for their presence, but there for their defensive presence, and that's really, you know, we saw against the Raptors how badly they turned us over. But looking at the upcoming schedule, guys, we host the Charlotte Hornets tomorrow, and we remember when the Hornets came to us, we barely held on. Kemba Walker did his thing on us. He's probably going to do it on us again. But what I'm specifically focusing on here is the 3-game road trip, because we played our last 2 games on the road. We're coming back home for this Hornets game, and then we go on the road to play some Eastern, to pretty much stay on the East Coast. I know the Grizzlies are in the Western Conference. But how do you guys feel looking forward in the short future with, you know, what we're able to control? I think we're able to win all of these games.
Same. I look at that, and I think they should go 4-0. The Grizzlies, the Heat, the Magic, those are 4 teams they should beat. They've beaten the Magic, they've beaten the Hornets, even though it was a close win. I think those are 4 teams they got to beat, and I'm expecting nothing less than a 4-0 record on this trip.
This is another stretch of 500 teams that we need to have a clean slate with, need to have that 4-0, which we haven't yet. But looking at it, it's just a bunch of teams that have a couple of good guys. One I'm really looking forward to is when they go to Miami, see Whiteside against Embiid. I think that's going to be just a great, if you like NBA basketball, that's just going to be what you want to watch. So it's a slate that they have to win.
Right. I think in this situation, you know, going on games on the road, I think these are games we should win. You know, the Stars are going to get theirs, as they have on the teams we played against. But as long as our guys step up, we should have nothing to worry about. You know, it's big bank, take little bank in this situation.
Yeah, and looking at the team, Dario Saric finally comes alive. I had been thinking this whole time, guys, that like if he's going to play with the Croatian team, and I don't know if it's every summer, I'm not entirely sure how the international basketball works in terms of their scheduling, how often they play, but if I was saying up until last night, if he's going to look the way he's looked all season, and that being a result of him playing with the Croatian national team, then I really don't want him. But luckily he was able to kind of calm me down a little bit and score 18 points. So what do you, just in general, how do you guys feel about that whole situation?
I mean, I understand. I mean, I read a couple articles on him. He really loves to play over there. So, you know, I'll grant him that. But I think that Brett Brown could maybe afford to rest him a couple games. If they play the Magic, or you would hope the Nets, that they don't get blown up by 25 when they play them. You would hope maybe against a lesser team, Brett Brown can give him some rest, and maybe he can play Jonah Bolden or Mike Muscala a few more minutes.
Usually the essence of playing more basketball just to get better usually applies to something like this, but playing in that Croatian league, nothing compared to the NBA. It's just almost ruined him for the beginning of the season. It took him a while to get back into the stride of NBA basketball as opposed to that, because it's just 2 different levels.
What are your thoughts on it?
Right. There's 2 different levels to it. I mean, Croatian basketball team, I mean, it's something to get him running, you know, but at the same time, you have to understand that this is where basketball is. It's in America and the NBA, where the best players are. You know, it took a little bit of time for him to get running, to get going, but I mean, he eventually got there, contribute to the team consistently. So, I mean, it's not something that they should worry about too much, but at the end of the day, he's still contributing. Yeah,
and it's something to keep an eye on. But another thing to keep an eye on, and you know, I said before the show started that he's really been making me eat my words, is Robert Covington. Consistently this whole season, for the most part, he's been our 3-and-D guy, but an effective 3-and-D guy. He's shooting the ball pretty well, and he had some nice defensive sequences last night against Victor Oladipo. So how do you guys feel about Covington?
He did guard him well, and he's definitely Victor Oladipo, obviously one of the top tier guys for backcourt. But if you really think about it, he has been a little shaky, but I think he's the defensive force that they need going in front of Embiid, playing with somebody behind him, knowing that he'll have that help and just knowing that they'll have a hustle guy out there that can also score the ball.
Yeah, what I like about Covington is he does the dirty work, and while Embiid and Simmons are the guys that get all the praise, he, like I said, he does the dirty work. He'll play defense. He'll get his hands in the passing lanes. He'll shoot at a pretty good clip some nights. You'd hope to see a little more consistency from him, but I mean, I do like what he does, and he plays a very pivotal role in this team.
Right, back to what Tyler and Jake were saying. It's just the case with him is if we can rely on him.
Yeah.
We need him to be able to rely on him. How dependable is he? Because, there'll be times where he's shooting lights out, doing the dirty work, but we need that consistently because we need to take that pressure off of Redick and Embiid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And, he's been with the organization for a while. He's done a lot of hard work to get to where he's at. You got to respect him for that. But we're going to wrap it up now. We're going to hope for a successful Sixers stretch dating between now and the next show. Once again, thank you all for tuning in and enjoy your weekend.